Okay, this video is entitled Gennady Golovkin, pound for pound, how? Um, let's start by this. Gennady Golovkin, very good fighter, very talented fighter, has the ability to cut fighters off by using good, smart footwork, a hurtful puncher, and has created an aura about him, almost like an aura of a Mike Tyson, in the way that people fear Gennady Golovkin before he gets in the ring, and the punch power is there, no doubt about it. But is he really pound for pound number one? Does he deserve to be called pound for pound number one? You hear it a lot on commentary. You hear it a lot by people who should know better than to call this man pound for pound number one. Now, after Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev fought for the right to be considered pound for pound number one, the two best fighters in the world fighting against one another in their weight class, and recognized as potentially the best man around at the moment in terms of skill, punching power, ability, and pound for pound, meaning that their ability, based on, from my understanding of the pound for pound, is that their ability, their punch power, their chin, their defense, their offense, you put that all together in each weight category. If they're weighing each weight category, they will dominate that division, in theory. The pound for pound is pretty mythical, subjective, and as one man once said, is a piece of rubbish, because at the end of the day, Tyson Fury, 6'9", versus a guy who's a flyweight, you know, it's a bit difficult. A 6'9" guy versus a guy who's only 5 foot. It's a bit of a mismatch, really, let's be honest. But let's just go with the pound for pound thing anyway. Right. Gennady Golovkin's record, and this is what we're going for: record. We're not talking about what you may feel, you're biased, your own personal thoughts. We're talking about what the facts are. And the facts are, looking at Gennady Golovkin's record, we're looking at his record now, and you can go to BoxRec, wherever BoxRec is at the moment, and you can check it out for yourselves. Gennady Golovkin's record, okay? Gennady had 36 fights, no losses. I don't know, 30. I don't know how many KOs he's had. 34, 35 KOs. Okay, right. Cool. Okay, but he stopped every opponent since. Wow. He stopped or knocked out. The last time somebody went to a unanimous decision with Gennady Golovkin was, let's go back, a guy called Amari back in 2008. Since then, Gennady Golovkin has gone on a roll of knocking people or stopping people. Okay, but names to mention: Kasim Umar, Gregor Proska, Rosado, Macklin, Stevens, Adama, Gill, Rubio, Murray, Willie Monroe Jr., David Lemieux, Dominic Wade, and Kell Brook. The first guy that pops out on that record, or on that record you see there, that of names I've called out, the biggest name on that record is Kell Brook. Kell Brook came into the fight unbeaten, 36-0, was a welterweight. That's the best guy Gennady Golovkin has fought in his career. Kell Brook, the best guy. That was a pay-per-view for fight one. That was against an unbeaten opponent, not a guy who'd been beaten up or knocked out or stopped before or demoralized before. This is a guy who was unbeaten, a top fighter in his own weight division, potentially one of the best welterweights in the world. Didn't fight Keith Thurman, didn't fight other fighters, but just fought Sean Porter. So the one fight he fought at world level, he did the business. But that was the only fight he fought at world level. So how good Kell Brook was at welterweight, we still don't know. We know he was in the top 5 or 6. We don't know how good. So Gennady Golovkin fights a guy from welterweight and pulls himself up 2 weight divisions to fight a middleweight. That is Gennady Golovkin's best win. That's the best win on his record. Kell Brook. But there are people out there saying this guy is pound for pound #1. Based on what evidence? Pulling a guy up from welterweight up to middleweight? Don't tell me, oh, well, he's knocked all these guys out. Okay. But again, who has he fought? Dominic Wade, David Lemieux, Willie Monroe, Martin Murray. Well, these are all world beaters, tell me. Marco Antonio Rubio. Well, Marco Antonio Rubio kind of beat up Lemieux and not stopped him, right? Okay. Daniel Gill had already been beaten by Darren Barker, had he not? Curtis Stevens had been beaten 3 times. Let's look for the name. Look at the guys. Let's go for these guys, okay? Rosado had been beaten 5 times. Macklin 4 times. Stevens 3 times. Well, the third times when he fought. Bear in mind, 3 times. That's after Gennady Golovkin's fought them. So Gill had been beaten once already. Rubio had been beaten 5 times. Martin Murray had lost. William Monroe had lost. Lemieux had lost. Dominic Wade was unbeaten, but Dominic Wade simply wasn't good enough. Who did he really beat? And then you had Kell Brook, whose best win was against Sean Porter. So when you put it in perspective, Gennady Golovkin could be a potential pound for pound fighter. But when people give me their pound for pound list and they talk about pound for pound, how can Gennady Golovkin be top of the pound for pound list? He could potentially be top of the pound for pound list, but you got to fight somebody. Start with fighting people in your own weight division who weigh the same as you, who are as good as you. Fight somebody who you're not expected to beat. Fight somebody who it's a 50-50 fight. Name me one fighter on that list that I gave you there that you could tell me that Gennady Golovkin fought that you thought, this is a tough fight tonight. Not sure if Gennady's going to win it. The only fight you had maybe was David Lemieux, because David Lemieux had 1-punch knockout power. But David Lemieux can't box. And Gennady Golovkin's boxing bit is so superior to David Lemieux. It was only a time before Gennady Golovkin got him out of there. So, all right. So, all the people that are at the moment that are trashing Canelo, who is the guy who is the man that beat the man? Cotto was the middleweight champion. Cotto beat Martinez. Martinez was the man. He was the #1 man, numero uno at the middleweight division. Cotto, regardless of what Martinez's shape was, whether you had 1 arm, 1 leg, he beat Martinez. So Cotto was recognized as the man in the middleweight division. Despite his size and all the rest of it, he beat Martinez. Martinez lost. Then Cotto went on and defended the title against Canelo. Canelo moved up in weight to fight Cotto. All right. Canelo is the man that beat the man that beat the man. He's the man, the middleweight man, not Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin has got the title because Canelo vacated. All right. Now let's look at the guy who I consider as the middleweight, the man to beat in the middleweight division, even though he's not in the middleweight division. Canelo, or Saul Canelo Alvarez, or just Canelo. All right. Look at the guys Canelo's fought in his career. I'm just going to go through them. All right. We'll start with Valdemir, Unlove, Hatton, Rose. These guys have been European champions, I believe. Alfonso Gomez, Kermit Citron, Shane Mosley, Josito Lopez, Austin Trout, Floyd Mayweather, Alfredo Angulo, Lara, Kirkland, Cotto, Khan, Liam Smith. Smith unbeaten in his weight category. Ahmed Smith is the guy that he pulled up. Okay, fine. From what was he? Khan used to fight at what, like welterweight? From welterweight, started his career as what was it? A lightweight or a lightweight. He started his career at. So okay, we'll give you a pass on that. Beats Miguel Cotto, the man to become WBC middleweight champion. James Kirkland, Lara, arguably if he beat Lara, Angulo, Floyd Mayweather. Canelo fought the pound for pound #1 in the world. Okay, Austin Trout, who was unbeaten at the time, and Austin Trout was the man that beat Cotto. All right, Sugar Shane Mosley. Even back then, Sugar Shane Mosley was a problem because look, he went on to rock Floyd Mayweather, did he not? And give Floyd Mayweather problems for the first couple of rounds. So I cannot buy for 1 second Gennady Golovkin being considered pound for pound #1. Okay, let's not even talk about Canelo. Let's take it to somebody else. Let's go to Manny Pacquiao. Okay, how can you consider Gennady Golovkin as pound for pound #1? Manny Pacquiao still fighting. Okay, look at the record: Jesse Vargas, Timothy Bradley, Floyd Mayweather, Chris Argieri, Brandon Rios, Marquez, Mosley, Margarita, Clottey, Cotto, Hatton, De La Hoya. How can you call him the best in the world? Okay, the pound for pound, the best fighter in the world. Okay, let's go to another guy. The guy that everybody likes to talk and put Gennady Golovkin's name against. No, so you're not going to like this, but SOG Andre Ward. You want to knock Gennady Golovkin, yeah? But no, you want to knock Andre Ward. Hold on. But here is Andre Michael Ward. Last fight, regardless if you want to accept it or not, he beat Sergey Kovalev. Alexander Brand on the comeback trail. Barrera, Paul Smith, Edwin Rodriguez. Okay, let's go now because we're talking about the comeback. So you've had Edwin Rodriguez, Paul Smith, Sullivan Barrera was #1 contender at the time. Alexander Brand, and then fight Sergey Kovalev, who's considered a devastating, who's still considered a devastating knockout artist, and considered I would consider in my top 5 pound for pound. Chad Dawson, Carl Froch, Arthur Abraham, Sakia Bika, Alan Green, Mikael Kessler, Edison Miranda. There are guys there. How can you tell me that Gennady Golovkin is pound for pound the #1 fighter? Okay, even if you then believe Sergey Kovalev beat, if you're saying Sergey Kovalev beat Ward and Ward robbed Kovalev, okay, even Sergey Kovalev. Let's look at Sergey Kovalev's record. Hold on. 30 fights, 1 defeat, 1 draw. Okay. Lost to Ward, pound for pound, I think is #1. Okay. Chilimbe is beaten. Pascal, Mohammadi, Pascal again, Bernard Hopkins, Nathan Cleverly, Cornelius White. You got here. Let's look at some of the guys he had beaten before that. Okay, Nathan Cleverly was unbeaten, 26-0. He was the world champion, right? Considered one of the best in the world at the time. Then you had Cedric Agnew was unbeaten. Caparello was unbeaten. Hopkins is just a legend. Jean Pascal had lost 2 fights, and then he fought Jean Pascal again. Chilimbe had lost 3 fights, and then Andre Ward. I can't argue the point of Gennady Golovkin being the best pound for pound fighter in the world. Sorry. And even if you look at his last fight against Kell Brook, that was not even a bona fide middleweight. And that bona fide middleweight, that non-bona fide middleweight was able to put him on his heels, hit him with uppercuts, hit him with right hands, Okay, here's a guy I'm going to mention now. There are two guys in the weight, two guys that Chris Eubank Jr. and Billy Joe Saunders. It's arguable that Billy Joe Saunders could beat every single guy that Gennady Golovkin's fought in his career so far. Are you going to put Billy Joe Saunders as pound for pound number one? No, you're not. So how much of this Gennady Golovkin story is hype? How much of it is media promotions? And how much of it is genuine? Now they're talking about the Jacobs fight. Will it, won't it happen? But you know, Jacobs has already been knocked out. Why doesn't Gennady take the chance like Ward did and move up 2 weight divisions? Or move up a weight division? Move up to super middleweight. There's a James DeGale fight there. There's a Ramirez fight there. There's a Groves fight there. Why not move up to super middleweight? You can't get the fights, move up to super middleweight. No, you want to unify division. Unify division, but you're still not the man because you haven't beaten Canelo. So that's a fight you really need. You need to beat Canelo. And is there a guarantee you beat Canelo? I don't know. If Kell Brook had the success he had, and I think Canelo's a better fighter than Kell Brook, the way to beat someone like Gennady Golovkin is to get on their chest and put him on their back foot. Gennady Golovkin is ineffective when you've got him on his back foot, pushing him back. He is effective coming forward. When he's on the front foot, he's very effective. Look at the fights he's had where Monroe's throws shots or Brooks throwing shots. He's ineffective. That point where he steps back and puts his hands up, that's where he's ineffective. But if you allow Gennady to come forward at you, will he ever be pound for pound number one? If he continues having the career that he has at the moment, or what, 35 years old? I mean, I can't see him at 35 getting any better. I think what we've got now is what Gennady Golovkin is. So, you know, he hasn't even fought the best that's around at the moment. So how people can call Gennady Golovkin pound for pound number one is beyond me. To me, personally, he doesn't make my top 5. No way. There are a lot of fighters out there that deserve to be in that ranking order before him. Even the heavyweight divisions. Vladimir Klitschko. Say what you want, he's fought all the guys he's fought. The long reign. Chocolito, what about him? There's so many fighters we could talk about. Tim Bradley's got to be in the top 10. You know, but I don't know. So that's my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think about the Gennady Golovkin pound for pound. Abel Sanchez is his pound for pound number one. But I just think it's just promotional. I'm not saying he can't become pound for pound number one, but with a shaky resume like that, that doesn't make pound for pound. It makes a mockery of the pound for pound system because it devalues what it means to be a pound for pound fighter. To me, Andre Ward's pound for pound number one. You know, he's moved up, he dominated the super middleweight division. He's moved up to light heavyweight and he's beaten Sergey Kovalev. So some people say, well, Kovalev got beat Ward. As far as I'm concerned, when Sergey Kovalev had Ward on the canvas, he allowed Ward to get up, get into rhythm, and get back into the fight. Sergey Kovalev should have closed the show off, knowing he was in America. 3 judges in the fight. 3 American judges. Not the first time, by the way, that Sergey Kovalev has fought in America with American judges against an American fighter. And got dropped several times, but still got on to win the fight. Darnell Boone. If you can get to see that fight, check it out. So this is it. Those are my thoughts on the Gennady Golovkin hype train. I'm not saying he's not a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, please. And don't misquote me by saying that I don't think Gennady Golovkin can become pound for pound. I just don't think he deserves to be pound for pound yet because he hasn't fought the caliber of opposition that the other guys I've mentioned have done. This is Ingram Jones. I'm out. Take care.